What is that?
That's called indulgence.
Wait, quiet down. We're trying to do a show.
Hello and welcome to Those Two Guys. This is the announcer portion of the show.
I'm this guy, and he's the other one.
I'm Jason Jones, and that's Bill Herman. And this is our show for this week. Pretty exciting. The show just got started, and we missed the first week after the recording to post a new one. But it's so new, we figure, well, it still needs to be discovered.
Yeah, we've disappointed about 100 people.
Yeah. So there's not, because we know they're like, each one that has listened is now waiting with bated breath for the next utterance that we put down on tape.
How do you know that, though? Did we get any? We know that the 100 people downloaded this thing, which, I mean, probably 50 of them were you.
No. No, it wasn't 50. It was like 80 or something like that. I don't know. It's like, I can I help it if I'm our biggest fan?
Yeah, well, but no one like said, hey, where is it, dudes? Or guys, I suppose it would be guys because we're those two guys, but no one asked where it was last week.
Well, we could have let it be ambiguous. You know, it could have been like, maybe they did, maybe they didn't. But since you've said it, then it's already out there.
No, you brought it up first. I didn't bring it up. You're the one who said we missed the second week.
Right.
So it wouldn't be ambiguous. It's not my fault that it's not ambiguous now.
Yeah, but they could have assumed that there was a huge, like, people were like crying out, all 100 of them.
Did anybody reach out to talk to us about our show?
Out. We weren't going to talk about this.
Why?
Why?
Why not?
No, nobody did.
Nobody talked about the show.
It's just starting out with a disappointment is not a good way to start.
Oh, I see what you're saying.
So, but we have more interesting things to talk about than ourselves.
No, well, isn't that what the show's about? I mean, I'm very interested about us. I'm just saying, if I'm going to be one of the main listeners, I want to know about us. So,
right. So why don't you tell them? Actually, we said nothing about who we are, what our background is, and our story last week.
Oh,
so
nobody cares. Really?
Okay, well, let's skip that. Let's bury that in episode. They can look forward to it. Episode 100 will actually have something about us and who we are.
Or if you really want to know about us, then you send us. Why don't you just send us questions? You can send us questions.
Make them work
through
for
your email. Yeah, they can email us a question, and we'll answer a question a week. So they'll get to know us a little bit at a time, like in a relationship. At coffee, I would only tell you so much. At dinner, if I was trying to get something out of you, I might tell you a little something more. Okay, I might even lie.
Well, see, now that's interesting that to get something out of someone else, you would tell them more about you, assuming that would make them want to give you something more.
Because I am damn fascinating.
Versus listening
trust
to them.
me, I am so fascinating. Once you get to know me, you're going to want to give me more, if and you know what I'm saying.
No, I have no idea. Why don't you elaborate? Tell me more, really.
Well, you might want like $1 or something, or a ride home. Because I don't usually give people a ride home on the second date.
Oh, it's dating now.
Well, that's what we were talking about, right? This is kind of like dating. The people who come and listen to this, they're going to like us. They're not going to like us. And if they're going to like us, they're going to want a second date. And that would be the second show. It would be a real test on the third show, how many downloads we got for the second show. How many people actually came back
for seconds.
Right.
Yeah. Was the hot dish really that good?
Right, exactly.
We can always say, well, we'll put a little pepper in next week, and maybe it'll be a little less bland, a little less
that's
Minnesota.
A great idea. Now, Steve, you just told them where we're from.
Yeah, but that's a little bit.
That's a big state.
Mm-hmm.
Could be up north.
So, is this the part of the show where we start getting interesting?
This is the part of the show, yes, where we get very interesting. If you can get past what is with your voice, by the way.
No, that's not a good topic to talk about.
It is a really. Has anybody noticed how he's got like a perfect voice?
I know I'm ruining the whole yes and because I've been saying no to everything that you bring up. Unfortunately, it doesn't stop you.
No.
So you are unstoppable. I
want to know how is it that my mic sounds like this and yours sounds like that?
You're just like Sam. I am.
I am.
I
brought my green eggs.
I don't like green eggs and ham. Not with a fox, not in a car, not on a train. Nowhere.
All right, so I've had all kinds of topics I want to talk about, and you've been no to every one of them. What do you want to talk about?
Oh, I'm sorry. Was that a topic?
Every one of these was a topic.
Those were topics. All right, awesome. I was waiting. I thought I didn't. Okay.
What do you want to talk about? I want to hear about
I need to expand.
Bring it on, man.
Expand my world of what I think is interesting.
Come on, bring it on. What's interesting to you, Mr. Super Voice?
Well, I had an opportunity to be able to work with a very talented individual over the weekend, Sean Paul. He performs a show, Intrigue Theater. He has a show down in Eureka Springs, Arkansas, and he performed one right here in the Twin Cities.
Really?
Yeah, and did an incredible job. It's not your stock magic show, look how many scarves I can pull out of a box kind of show.
He's a magician.
He doesn't call himself a magician, and I wouldn't say that his show is like what you would expect or where your default brain would go as far as like it's a magic show.
Okay.
Sort of thing like that. It's intriguing. It's fun. It's got a lot of great stories. It incorporates history and a lot of really, really fun stuff. And I got the opportunity to open up and present for the show.
It incorporates history?
Mm-hmm.
What about those people that think history is boring?
Oh, they won't once they see this show.
Really?
Yeah.
So what kind of historical
history isn't
things
boring.
does he talk about?
Stories about,
I was in history
extraordinary
class
things.
in school. It put me to sleep.
That's because you were young and had so little history yourself. So don't you find now that you're older that history is much more interesting?
Well, my history is because, once again, the show is about us.
I remember. Oh, Methuselah. That's right. I remember him. That rat.
Hey, wait a minute. I'm not that old. So what kind of history was in the show?
Oh, the Salem witch trials.
Really?
Yeah.
So that sounds horrifying. What did they actually try a witch?
No, they channeled one of the people that was sentenced to death.
They channeled that person on stage.
Yeah, or it wasn't like a channeling like.
Oh, wait, hold on. Wait. What is that again?
Hello, where am I? You're not going to burn me, are you?
That's the definition of channeling. Okay,
it wasn't. It wasn't
like
like that at all. No, it was. I mean, it was she's clairaudient, and she was speaking to the spirits.
Clairaudient.
And things start getting really crazy in the show, and really intense and freaky and stuff. It's very, very, very fun.
Wow. And now, did they do a lot of that kind of stuff?
And they did a lot of that kind of stuff. Yeah. And he has a little monkey called Frankie.
He has a monkey.
Yeah.
There's a monkey in the show, and a clairaudient woman.
Mm-hmm.
And what else?
Then, you need more?
Well,
really?
I'm trying to picture the poster in my head right now for the show. It's got a monkey and a clairaudient woman and a guy named Sean
Paul.
Mm-hmm. And what was the most impressive thing in the show?
My introduction.
Or can you?
No.
Yeah, but the show's not about us.
No,
at all.
not at all. I would have to say the most impressive thing about the show is the ending, the final act of the show.
Really?
Is the most, because he does a great job at building it up to that crescendo at the end. So it's just a wonderful payoff to all of the acts leading up to it.
Can you spoil it? Can
Very
you do a
fun, very
spoiler?
exciting. No, absolutely not.
A little bit of a spoiler?
No, the show is copyrighted. He'll sue me even if I talk about it. So, even though we're very dear friends.
Wait a minute. He's going to sue us if we talk about it? We have to edit half of the
you
show
don't want
now.
to give it away. I'd say go and experience it. I mean, if you're intrigued at all by Intrigue Theater, go and see the show.
Okay, so where can you go see it?
In Eureka Springs.
Oh, it's only in Eureka Springs.
Yeah,
but
there are
brought it
special
here.
shows here in the Twin Cities, yeah.
Ah, does he tour all over the country?
Yeah, I think he does. He's starting to do some touring as well.
So where on the web can I look?
IntrigueTheater.com is where you can look.
Awesome.
Watching him and
Are you going to be in this show all the time?
No.
Oh, okay. Wait, you were only in it once and I didn't get a chance to see it?
Yeah. Where were you? I thought you were my friend. People who are kind of half friends showed up. But were you there? No. You had family stuff to do.
Well, apparently I was not as intrigued as I should have been.
No. See, you didn't know. We should have had this conversation in advance, I guess.
Why didn't we talk about it last
week?
week? When did we? The 2 weeks ago.
We were busy getting ready for the show.
That's
but
true.
After watching the him perform with the monkey and watching the monkey behave, I was just astonished at just how similar that monkey is and my 2-year-old is in behavior.
So you have a very hairy child, is what you're saying?
No, behavior. I couldn't wait to go home and tell my wife.
Okay.
We could have had a monkey.
And you're not sure that you have a little hairless monkey. Honestly.
Well, we have a hairless monkey now.
So what was the most glaring similarity?
The most glaring similarity
between the monkey and your son. If your wife hears this show, you're in so much trouble.
No. I think the most glaring similarity is how well the monkey listened. And how the monkey communicated.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because the monkey communicates?
Yeah.
In what way? What did he do?
The monkey channeled the pharaoh.
No, he didn't.
He did.
Now you're just making stuff up.
No, I'm not. He did. It was a fun show, and it was a great experience.
It sounds really fun.
So that was
I'm
that was
sorry
my
that
weekend.
I missed it. And I've met Sean myself. Sean is a very talented performer. I just haven't seen this show yet.
Mm-hmm. Well, now
So,
you have something to look forward
if Sean thinks I'm making fun of him, then I don't really care. He's down in Eureka Springs anyway. So.
to. Right.
What's he going to do? I'm
he
not
won't
afraid
find
of
you
him.
here in Minnesota.
He'll stick his monkey at me. What's going to go on?
Right.
So that's cool. And you did that all weekend.
Yeah, that was all weekend.
All right, wow. Did you know that people are doing scientific studies on breasts?
How did
suppose
I not
it's
hear
happening
about
all
this?
the time. No, there's
Is that a job?
I found a story
That's somebody's position.
last week by Amanda Williams, and it's all over the net, so you can find it. But
Are you talking like breast cancer, like disease, like medical things?
kind of, they found out that after a 15-year study, a scientist who took 15 years to inspect women's breasts, that's what he did, he inspected them.
Mm.
And I had a card like that once in high school that allowed me to inspect women's breasts, but it never worked for me.
I think he was probably doing a scientific inspection, unlike an inspection you might like to do.
Well, I thought that too until I read the article. This is what he found out: women are better off without their bras. Was his conclusion: women are better off without their bras.
And he needed a grant to discover that?
Apparently,
I don't understand why people get so much money just to prove what we already knew.
For years, women have been told of the wonders of a good bra, with the benefits ranging from relieving back pain to reducing your sagging.
Yeah, it's all in Bette Midler's song,
But
Over the Boulder Shoulder Holder.
Oh,
No.
According to a new French study, there you go. It's French. Those French.
That makes sense, actually. now.
Women could be better off without the simple staple. A huge 15-year study, which I think is the funniest thing of the whole story, found that wearing a bra could actually be sending your busts southwards, and but it does ease a little bit of back pain, but hardly any to be able to mention.
So it's it's the actual bra that causes the sag, is what you're saying. This
Right.
is the big discovery.
Researchers claim that bras are little more than a false necessity, which I think is a really funny quote there as well. A false necessity. There's no benefit at all in denying breasts gravity.
Wow. Was that a quote?
Yes.
Well, come to think of it, as I think back to when I was a kid and I thumbed through National Geographic, they were quite perky.
Well, I love seeing breasts without bras on them. I think it's much nicer. And I think that's kind of what he's saying is if you're going to have a breast, don't put a bra on it.
All right, well, then I won't wear one anymore.
On the contrary, they get saggier with a bra, it says in the report. Or with a bra, rather.
Because they prove this.
The Centre Hospitalière Université.
They measured it over 15 years.
Uh-huh.
No pun intended.
No, well, that wasn't even a very good pun. So you could intend it if you wanted.
Oh, we're rating puns now?
Right, yes. According to a 28-year-old woman who's a participant in it, she's not worn a bra for 2 years, and she says, I breathe more easily, I carry myself better, and I have less back pain. And everyone around her is much happier.
Wow.
I added that part.
Okay. I see. Well, that's fascinating.
But this was a big deal. This is a big deal study. It was all over the place.
So do you think this is going to put the bra business out of business?
No.
I mean, Victoria's Secret's going to go away?
Well, but maybe that's what Victoria's Secret is that you really don't need her stuff.
Well, I mean, underwear.
Well, the underwear. I mean,
Or is that the next study that they're going to have?
It does make it really, really. I mean, it does. It makes the package all the more prettier. But I don't know that you need to pretty up that package.
Are you talking about men's underwear?
Yes, because there's all kinds of men's underwear at Victoria's Secret. Where have you been shopping?
I'm
What are you wearing right now?
I'm clearly reading too much metaphor into what you're saying.
Yeah, you really are. Yeah, no, that's it. That's the story that I found. What'd you find?
That's fascinating.
Thank you. I thought it was fascinating.
That's really fascinating. Speaking of medical advances,
Yes.
I saw when we went to have lunch, and there was a little dental office, and they call themselves Gentle Dental, and their tagline is, "We cater to cowards."
Okay.
So I ask you this. If you don't like rough dentists, and who doesn't like a rough dentist, you know? But if you don't like rough dentists, or you kind of freaked out by it, you want someone to be like, really like, okay, now I'm going to jab the needle in your gum really slowly, and, you know, kind of Sweeney Todd kind of thing. And would you be attracted to this dentist that says, we cater to cowards?
Well,
like,
first of all,
I'm a coward. Like, you think that people identify with being a coward?
Yes, because I do. I am an anti-dentite from way back.
But if you saw that and you're like, oh, that's me, I'm a coward.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Oh, you don't think that would be insulting?
No, it doesn't. It didn't insult me. I mean, those kind of people. I went to one that did that. I mean, because I don't like dentists.
I'm talking more about the marketing than the actual act of like service or what they're doing or what they're saying they're doing. You know, that like calling their customers basically cowards for coming to them for dental.
Yeah, but I mean,
dental,
those people
work.
that are dental cowards, I don't think that's something that they don't talk about. It's not like you know. Of course, you speak about you don't want to feel like a coward, but when it comes to being a dental coward, nobody really hides from that.
Oh,
do
you
they?
can take pride in that.
I did. I don't know many people who go, "Oh, I'm afraid of the dentist," and then like hide from it. A lot of people are afraid of the dentist. A lot of people.
So you're saying
they come at you. First of all, they open your mouth. They say, and then they come at you with like the sharpest instruments you'd never even put anywhere near your face, and then they go into your face and poke around at your gums, and with teeth. I mean, we don't even eat hard stuff sometimes because we don't get a toothache, but they, poke and prod and yank and make you bleed. It's terrible.
Yeah.
There's nothing. I don't like them. I get gas for a cleaning.
And so you are...
I'm not kidding.
Well, you shouldn't eat whatever it is you eat before going in then.
What? You got to eat? What are you talking about? It doesn't matter what you eat. You just eat it. It's on your food. On your teeth, rather.
Right. Exactly.
And then they pick it off with a big... You don't have a problem with a dentist, do you?
No. When I was a child, I didn't use Novocaine.
What?
Yeah.
What? That must be some kind of like big macho North Dakota thing.
I don't know, but
your parents said, "No, send him in there, but don't give him any Novocaine." Turn him into a man.
Nobody used Novocaine. That's the thing.
That's not true.
No, it is true.
That's not true.
It is so true. It is so true. And the explanation was like, "Oh, then your lips won't be puffy when you go have lunch afterwards."
That can't be true.
Yeah,
that's got to just be a North Dakota.
Yeah, and the dentist
you
would say,
didn't grow up in the turn of the century. I mean, you bite down on a piece of leather and they give you some whiskey? What?
There was Novocaine. The dentist would just say, like, raise your hand if the pain gets to be too much, and I'll stop.
And your hand wasn't like completely in the air all the time.
What's that?
You weren't
I would just like grip the chair, and then like when it got to be too intense, I'd raise my hand and that sort of thing. But I didn't have a puffy lip during lunch.
I am never ever going to start a fight with you because that is the coolest, toughest thing I've ever heard.
And then I went to his nephew, who was an orthodontist, that had a sign on the door that said "Parents are not permitted in the back unless they're called." And I found out why.
Why?
Oh, because he jerks your face off when he was like doing the braces.
Ow!
It's like we went to I think the cruelest.
What
dentist.
kind of Steve Martin-esque dentist did you go and see? Say ah! Say ah!
So anyway,
That's crazy.
Getting back to the cowards thing is that both Kelly and I, my wife, thought that it's like that's terrible to call your. To say, you're a coward if you're afraid to go to
we'll take your money if you're a
or
coward.
regular dentist. Yeah.
Well, they're just saying they'll take your money. If
I know
you're
what
a coward.
they're saying, but it's like to identify yourself as being a coward just because you don't want a rough dentist.
Yeah, I just think all dentists are rough. I mean, when I tell you I get gas for cleaning, I'm not kidding. It's a perk.
Mm-hmm.
Honestly, halfway through the cleaning, I usually will fall asleep.
Well, have you tried more fiber?
What? How is that going to help my teeth?
Well,
and my dental visit.
It could help you
so
with
I'll
the gas.
sit there and I'll just, oh my Lord, it's a fart joke. I wasn't paying attention.
Actually, it's not just a fart joke.
How did I miss a fart? I love a good fart joke.
At
How
this
did I
point of
miss
the
that?
show, it's a callback.
All right, Mr. Comedian.
Now, you had something else fascinating to share.
Yes, well, a lot more fascinating than that, of course, because, well, I was in Vegas last week with my wife.
That's right, you were.
Yeah, it was fun.
That was really
We
fun.
stayed at a
And
hotel called the Aria,
and you won?
which was awesome. I did not win.
Sorry, that was a bad topic. Do you notice
was-
you never, ever, people when they say, I've been to Vegas, or I just got back from Vegas, it's like very faux pas to say, did you win?
Well, because if you win in Vegas, you don't start with, hey, I went to Vegas last week. You start with, I won a shit pile of money in Vegas last week.
No swearing on the show.
I'm sorry. Can you bleep it out?
Sure.
Well, fine, you fucker. How much work can I do for you?
All right, you're going to edit this show.
So, no, I'm not editing.
You're going to edit that show up
So,
there.
hey there, guys. How you doing? So, so what was I saying? I was saying
You went to Vegas. You were
went
at
to
the
Vegas,
Aria.
and I'm at the Aria, which is a really nice place, by the way. And I noticed when we got in, because you always take when you take your ride in from the airport, you see all the billboards of all the shows that are happening all the time. And I noticed that this time, instead of seeing a lot more Cirque shows, even though the Cirque du Soleil shows are still going on, and Blue Man Group is still going on, and I think Celine Dion is still, all those people are still there. But the billboards I'm seeing more than anything are huge billboards of famous DJs at the clubs. So they've actually made celebrity DJs even as big as Penn and Teller in Vegas. I mean,
Cool.
Tiesto had a billboard as big as Celine Dion.
He is pretty famous.
He is, but then I saw some other DJs that I hadn't necessarily heard about, but are apparently big famous people. There's a magazine that was in the a Las Vegas magazine in the hotel that the front of it was, first of all, those Vegas magazines are like, as big as your bed. They're just enormous. But the front cover was Tiesto. Yeah, I know. I mean,
Very
normally
cool.
it's only in the DJ magazines, DJ Times, Mobile V Magazine. Those of you who don't know, we are mobile disc jockeys as well as actors and performers, and one of the things we do is work in that world. And we've been noticing over the years that it's becoming more of a mainstream in the world, and now that people are coming to Vegas that are not just working around in the DJ world, are being catered to towards those celebrity DJs. I just thought it was fascinating that all of a sudden, because I'd never seen it before. You see it in Europe, Tiesto. I mean, there's billboards everywhere for that guy over there, but you don't necessarily see it over here.
Well, I think that has a lot to do with hip-hop and remixes and rave and how popular that stuff has become, and technology to be able to actually do that.
Well, and the mashups are not something that
Has
just
elevated
DJs do
them.
anymore.
They're remixing them.
Right. Well, the word mashup was only a DJ word for the longest time, and now remix and mashup and things like that are in the mainstream. And now they're learning, that people like Tiesto have their own CDs that you can go and buy. Now all of a sudden, here's this guy who's huge. You can go to the MGM Grand and see Tiesto and dance right next to his DJ booth while he stands there with his headphone on one hand and hand on the mixer and looking like he's doing something.
It's like DJs are, these people are representing actually some status for the industry and those performers in the industry, which is really interesting that it took this long for that to happen, because a DJ is something that's ubiquitous in just about everybody's life in America. At some point in everyone's life, they will need to hire a DJ for something.
Right.
A mobile DJ for something.
Right. And most people have an idea of what it is already.
Unless they can afford something better.
And but see, that's just it. That's what they think. I mean, most people, unless you're a DJ yourself, think that that's well, if I have to get something, that's because they probably have seen more bad DJs than they've seen good ones.
I don't know if that's necessarily true.
Who knows?
I've heard a lot of people say, "Oh, I want a good DJ for blah blah blah." Fill in the blank.
Well, why do they think it's so hard to find then?
What, a good DJ?
Yeah.
I don't know.
I mean, I think that's what I'm saying. Speaking to the conversation of the regular person, is they think that the good DJs are really few and far between, if they exist at all.
Maybe they are.
And very often the good DJs that they believe exists are not like the best DJs. It's like they what's the word I'm trying to the level of DJ is not that impressive for what the regular people in the world think is really impressive.
Well, I think that it's like there has become there like to say I'm a musician, to say I'm a singer,
Yeah.
and I play music and I have my first album, and so the first question would be like, oh, what genre, what kind of music do you sing? You know, are you folk? Are you hip hop? Those are worlds apart.
Right.
That doesn't exist for DJs now. There's because there's club DJs, there's party DJs, there's bar DJs, there's mobile DJs, there's wedding DJs, there's that sort
Radio
of thing.
DJs.
And radio DJs and all that work and what is done and what is produced and what is shared is different amongst all those. I mean, there's similarities that thread through all of them, but perhaps there just needs to be a larger classification. Where is Darwin? We need to classify all the different species of DJs.
Now that we've climbed from the primordial ooze.
Yes, DJs are no longer single-celled animals.
So
They've come out of the water.
seeing major billboards in Las Vegas for DJs, what do you think that's saying about the DJ world or industry, if there is such a thing?
What is it saying?
What do you think it's? I mean, do you think that's?
It's saying that it's becoming a part of pop music as a form of creation, not just playing back and mixing. Actually, really good mixing, like at a nightclub. When I was in Vegas a while back, I can't remember the name of the club, but it doesn't matter because
I think we were at the Cosmopolitan.
Right, but if we mentioned it, I'd want them to pay to be on the show.
Oh, okay, we weren't there,
and it was some other place.
Someplace
but
else.
The DJ was really good. He was creating. I mean, he was literally taking the music and then creating something new, layering it, putting things together, literally creating something new. And I think that is what's propelling it. Is the technology has enabled that to happen. Why do we get so philosophical?
I think it's very interesting, though. I think it isn't just interesting for us and for our DJ friends. I think it's an interesting phenomenon. I mean, and it's permeating everywhere. When you see things like what is that show? The show about Portlandia. Have you seen Portlandia? It's a show on the Independent Film Channel. It's with I think Fred Durst from Saturday Night Live. Very funny.
Seen it.
And they had a sketch once. That if you go looking for just type in DJ in Portlandia, there's a sketch where they're walking down the street and then they go into a coffee shop and their friend says, "Hey man, you come to my DJ show later?" And they go, "What are you talking about?" "I'm doing my DJ show. I'm DJing, up at the place." He gives them a flyer. I said, "Oh wow, I didn't know he was a DJ." And then they leave, and then the guy who delivers their mail says, "Hey, thanks again, and by the way, be sure to come to my DJ show." So everybody they see for the 3 minutes. Regardless if they're a mailman or a milkman or a homeless guy in the street's got a DJ show at the bar up the street on Wednesday night. You should come and see me. But it's just interesting that even made itself into the world.
Yeah,
right?
no, I mean, it's like I said, it's ubiquitous. I think if you search for references, you'd find lots and lots more of those references. The more that you looked around.
That was very subtle, how you started the thing.
I don't know what you're talking about.
We're supposed to be done now, right? Is that what we're doing?
I don't know what you're talking about.
So are they going to write to us? They're going to ask us our questions? Give them an email. They can email to us.
You give out your email.
Okay, bill@billcreates.com.
Or you can contact Jason at One Shoe Productions. No, Jason at billcreates.com because trying to do One Shoe Productions,
now you've just confused everybody.
Yeah.
Bye.